many previous seasons, and I think to get to this point is very critical. And to be hearing more and more positive reviews than you probably heard 2.5 years ago, when there was still a lot of novelty with the show, that makes it stand out and makes their success that much more unprecedented, and season finales and specials to be looked forward to more. I have seen a lot of one-hour specials of Shake It Up. I've talked about them here on this show, and I've talked about the messages that even the half-an-hour shows, the 22-minute shows, have conveyed. And I think that every show is special in its own way. The Shake It Up Japan special had a lot of guest stars. I know Kat Deely dropped by for that one, and I have talked about that on this show previously, and in conjunction with the previous video blog I released on several specials and the success of Shake It Up, this one kind of ties in to the Shake It Up series, because really, is there any show on Disney that's having as much success after being on air for a couple of years in this one? I know there are a lot of shows that are having a lot of success. On the animated side of things, you have Gravity Falls, and you have a number of other animated shows that are having a lot of success. Phineas and Ferb will have endless success for many more years to come. And on the actual reality shows that Disney have, we have Dog with a Blog, but it still has a lot of novelty. It's having a lot of success, but the key thing is it's having success in its novelty episodes, and along with that we have many others. The thing about Shake It Up is it's becoming a premier show on Disney, and it's been around for a number of years, so it's kind of established itself, putting it into a position to one day probably be the #1 show on the network. Which is a whole lot of fun, and I think that every show is getting that much more unpredictable and that much more fun to watch. And when it comes to conversation, if you actually keep up with them on Facebook and on Twitter, they are creating a lot of it amongst the fans of this series and people that aren't even fans of this series, people who have never heard of this show. Now, I've looked for a lot of downloads about this show. You do have a lot of wallpaper, you have a lot of graphics, but when it comes to videos on YouTube and torrents and stuff, this show is very difficult to find a download of, and I've looked many times over the years to actually download a couple of seasons. I have a habit of downloading these series in their entirety. I've done it for virtually every show that I've been a fan of, and I've tried to do it for this one. It's very difficult, so they're kind of forcing you to actually watch the show on television, and if you have not seen an episode, they're kind of forcing you to hang on to the edge of your seat to come across an episode that you may have missed to check out. I'm hoping they're going to be releasing the previous seasons of Shake It Up on DVD and Blu-ray. I think they would sell a lot. And I think that this show's just been getting great review after great review after great review. I've been reading some of the comments that you guys have been leaving on discussion forums for television, and just different things that are themed towards Shake It Up. And all these comments and reviews you guys are leaving are becoming more positive. You're finding more positive things to talk about than actual faults this show has, which is great. I know the show does have its faults. It focuses on one or two aspects of the show a little bit too much, but I think the chemistry is one thing. If there's one thing that you should focus on that you don't focus on as much with this show, it's the chemistry between the actors and the actresses, because that's one thing that puts this show over a lot. The definitive and undeniable chemistry that these characters have on set has really gotten the show to a point that many shows don't even get to, and it's because of the chemistry of previous shows that have gotten to this point that the shows have had as much success as they have. Another huge thing that they have going for it is promotion. This is one thing that I cannot stress enough. The promotion for Shake It Up has been blown out of proportion since the show's premiere back in 2010. If this show didn't have as much promotion as it did in its first few episodes, this show probably would have never gotten to the point and on the pedestal that it's on now. And if you notice on Facebook and Twitter, it's not only the producers of the show's creators that are promoting it, and Disney themselves, along with Family here in Canada, partnership to Disney, the sister station. Not only are they promoting it, but the cast members of Shake It Up are promoting it, especially on Twitter, because they have millions of fans, and every 1 million fans find out about this show, obviously the ratings are going to increase, and the publicity the show is going to get is going to go over the top. In addition to that, they have a Facebook page with millions of fans, and if you actually pay attention to the fan count on either Facebook or Twitter, you'll notice that it's consistently going up all the time. It never decreases. People never unsubscribe to them on either Facebook or Twitter. It's always an increase in the fan support, so that's always a good thing. Sometimes fans lose interest in the show, and there are those die-hard fans out there that just keep giving the show the support it needs to get over. And a lot of people ask me, why do you actually like this stuff on Facebook? Why do you follow this stuff on Twitter? It's a part of pop culture. And no, I don't go to websites like What's Cool with popculture.com to find out a new series is out or a new CD just dropped or a new music video. I don't find out that kind of stuff. I literally actually religiously follow it because I believe that some of these things that are happening within entertainment are both critical things that are going on and stuff that will determine the future of entertainment in years to come. I mean, these are the stars of tomorrow, no matter if you want to accept it or not, or believe into it. These are the stars of tomorrow, and if we give them the support they need, then obviously we're going to see them again when these series finish up. We're going to see them either in new TV series or in movies. We're going to see them have just as much success as they probably would have 10 years ago when they were on their first TV series of all time. I mean, they know what they're doing, and I think that this is an indication of bright futures for all the cast members of the show. Now, if you've seen one-hour specials of Shake It Up, if you've seen season finales of other shows, they have been very, very emotional. They both left us with a lot of questions and been very emotional. I know iCarly's season finale, the series finale from last year, left me with a lot of questions because they allowed the series was taking a break, but it was the season finale on the other side of the coin. So it left me with the question of, are we going to see iCarly possibly return? Obviously, the answer to that question is no, because the other cast members have had other shows premiere. Vinny and Wendell, starring Jerry Traynor, obviously answered that question for me. And we have seen a lot of series have emotional finales and goodbyes for either season finales or series finales. We have seen more series finales over this past year and a half than we have probably in the last 5. So I'm hoping that Shake It Up has an emotional season finale, but also comes back with another season to kind of pick up for this season left off. I hope this isn't it for Shake It Up. I can pretty much confirm that it isn't for you, for those of you who are wondering after having seen all these season finales. I know that question is in the back of your mind, but there is still a lot of novelty attached with this show also, so they're not just going to call it quits at this point. They just released a soundtrack called I Love to Dance, which has sold millions of copies both on iTunes and worldwide in stores where music are sold. They have had millions of downloads when it comes to music videos on YouTube, recording multiple versions of different songs for Shake It Up and music videos. They had Selena Gomez record the theme with her band The Scene, which really got the show off the ground, which is one of the contributing factors as to why it was such a huge success. Selena Gomez openly admitted that it was so much fun partaking in the Shake It Up series, and we had a lot of guest stars on the show in addition to everything that was done for it. I mentioned Kat Deely here earlier on in the broadcast. I know Bridget Mendler was on there from Good Luck Charlie when they had a special edition of Shake It Up where Shake It Up and Good Luck Charlie kind of teamed up prior to Good Luck Charlie finishing up, which is one of the latest series to finish up in addition to that, Victorious. So they have had the support and they have had the fuel that kind of encourage the fire of success for this show. And I think that if we continue to support it, we're only going to see even better years for both the show and the cast members, either on the show Shake It Up or in other shows these cast members will be involved with. We invite you to tell us what you thought of the Shake It Up season finale. You can do that by leaving us a comment at the bottom of this YouTube video, by sending us a message on Facebook, or by tweeting us your opinion on Twitter at Jonathan Clarke1. We are following Shake It Up on Twitter, who had millions of fans, and we have joined their conversation on our Facebook page. All you got to do is click on our likes, and then you scroll down to the TV show section, and then you will see Shake It Up amongst the many TV shows that we have liked for you. And a lot of great TV shows, both for children and for people of all ages, have recently premiered. You got Dog with a Blog on Disney. You have everything going on with previous shows, and of course you have shows for the older audiences like Sleepy Hollow and Dracula, which is a new one based off of the novel, Bram Stoker's novel from many years ago. So that's kind of interesting. But, TV is getting more interesting all the time, more unpredictable. One thing that I said about television on a radio station, Hits FM, a couple of months ago, back in January of this year, at the start of the year, I said that television has a consistent habit of just being so predictable. How many times have you found yourself watching television and you say to yourself, I knew that was going to happen. I mentioned the fact that television needed to become more unpredictable, needed to leave you on the edge of your seat more, because I believe that was one of the reasons why we saw so low TV ratings all the time and so many negative reviews. But if we see more unpredictable television in episodes of different series, like Sleepy Hollow or Dracula, for instance, if we have that unpredictability, then obviously we're going to see viewership increase, we're going to see ratings go through the roof, and we're going to hear more positive reviews and more written reviews in the way of positivity are going to be distributed for weekly columns. So I think that unpredictability is a huge factor, a huge X factor, if anything, that helps get